This is to actors. When you come to audition, you got to learn how to slate, man. I mean, I don't know if you don't get that in training or whatever, but need to learn how to do that. Okay? If I ask you to slate, you can't ask me what that is. Okay? You should know. We want to know your name. We want to know what you're reading for, all that. And for heaven's sakes, don't hold a script over your face. You
Yeah,
know, I see some people do. Dude, I don't. Learn how to do that, please.
welcome back, everybody, to The Fade, the podcast about everything Fade to Black 2025. We are sitting here with the illustrious Mr. Errol Wilks. How you doing today, sir?
First of all, should I Google illustrious and see what you mean by that?
Oh, man, it's probably going to show you a picture over there. How you doing today?
I'm egotistical enough to think that way. You know.
You on the right path, Mr. Errol Wilks.
Yeah, but I actually go by Errol Anthony Wilks, and there's a story behind that. My name, where I come from, is very common. Errol?
Errol.
Yes, it's a very common name. So I try to differentiate myself by saying Errol Anthony Wilks. At one time I started going by E. Anthony Wilks, but then people started calling me Tony. I don't look like a Tony. So I decided, you know what, just go back to plain Errol Anthony, okay?
They're just going to give you a nickname.
Yes, and we spent half of your podcast talking about a name that doesn't really mean anything. So, what do you want to ask today?
Well, just normal things. So first and foremost, for the people out there who may not know who are you or who is Errol Anthony Wilks, and what does that person or name have to do with Fade to Black in general?
You know, a wise man once said, luck is a residue of design. I can't remember if it was Leo de Rocher or one of those people who said that, but I was very fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. I went to see a show many years ago at Harold Haynes' theater, Encore, and I'd met Denise O'Neill prior to that when she was working at the Ensemble Theater. And she approached me and she said, hey, I'm doing this thing. I think I'm going to call it Fade to Black, but, I want to do some 10-minute plays by African-American playwrights. And I said, oh, that's great for you, but what does it have to do with me? I'm not a playwright. So, well, I'm going to need directors. I said, oh, okay.
I can do that part.
But I had a lot of things going on at the time, so I kind of blew her off for a little bit. But I soon found out how persistent she was, and that's the reason why she's a good leader for this affair that we have now called Fade to Black. We've been going, good God, how many years is it? We've just finished 12 years or 11 years. Don't get me to start guessing, but we've been going on for a while now, and we have a major initiative coming up in 2025.
Ooh, what is that?
Well, it's going to be an arts affair, and the city of Houston has never seen anything like this. We're going to combine film, theater, poetry, spoken word, and a bunch of other things. People always look at Houston. I know I've had visitors here who think that we're a little country bumpkin town, but we have great restaurants, we have a beautiful skyline, and we have a lot of talented folk here and a lot of untapped talent, and that's one of the things that we want to showcase, and we have done that. We have produced, good grief, over 200 plays.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe the count is about over 300 African American playwrights through Fade to Black
from all over the country.
All over the country.
Yeah, we even have one who's living in Mexico because the first year we did Fade to Black, this lady, I think she moves between San Diego and Mexico, but our primary residence is in Mexico. Carol Roper, and I directed. In fact, and I tell you this, how far we've gone. We had maybe 30-something plays that first year, and we couldn't find directors because I ended up having to direct 2 of them. And now we have people coming out the woodwork. Hey, I want to direct Fade to Black, but we have a system, and we have certain things that we have to uphold. Some people think that because it's a 10-minute play, they don't have to do the research. But a play is a play, whether or not it's 10 minutes or
2 pages.
90 minutes. Exactly.
Agreed.
You still have to put in the work. And that's one of the things that we always stress. And Denise is the one that has to go out and, with the whip on people.
The enforcer, huh?
Yeah.
The muscle.
Yeah. Because, if we visit somebody or we see a rehearsal when it's coming on close to opening night and it's not up to par, then, people start getting nervous. And nervousness is a good thing, but not that kind of nerves, okay?
Well, that's good. That's good. I also have another question. So, as far as Fade to Black is concerned, what is your active role in the Fade to Black system or universe? Or circle?
Well, Fade to Black is produced by Shabak Enterprises, and I serve on the board, and I also am the vice president of development. And part of the job, even though it's underneath everything that's going on, is to make sure that we do something at least every quarter. And I learned that long ago. I went to a seminar, and the guy was saying, if you don't have a theater house where you have a season, you have to do something every quarter in order to stay relevant. And we have that. We have the reading series in the first quarter in January. And the reading series, we take 9 or 10 of the plays that didn't quite make it into the production series, which is in June. What quarter is that? The third? Or
June,
the second?
That will be the second.
Okay. Did you see me count the April? May? Yeah. So, and then we have one year we did do a full-length play, one of the plays that Denise wrote, Fly in the Windshield.
Fly in the Windshield. I'm definitely familiar with that one.
Right. But that's right. You're one of the actors in it. We also have a lecture series, and that comes up later on in the year. So, our endeavors are to make sure that we do something relevant every quarter, and that's what we're doing right now. But I do serve on the board. I've served on the board since the inception, and I started out with Fade to Black as one of the first directors.
And have lots of kids. 4, maybe 5. Dang, that is? Yeah, I know it's a good family. I'm number 12 out of 15. 15? God dang. Well, ain't shit else for your parents to do in the country either. Once all farming and cooking is done, it gets pretty boring. Apparently, folks wasn't too bored. I mean, it's 15 of y'all walking around. Your mama should stand up. My mama is just fine. Thank you, she's a good Christian woman who loves taking care of her family. And she's proud of me, too. In fact, I got a letter from her a couple weeks back where she said they went and got color TV with the money I sent home. She said my daddy stayed watching TV when he come home from work. She said he watched till the anthem come on. I guess your mama's pretty happy about that. That TV is the only thing standing between her and dropping out number 16. All right.
And I have directed in every one of the production series except one during, I don't remember what year it was. What year was COVID? Did COVID start? 2019?
Well, end of 2019, pretty much all
one of those years I
years
didn't direct because I was tied up with something over at Texas Southern.
Well, I got another question. Can you tell me what the most unique thing about Fade to Black is itself?
To me, it's when a writer writes a 10-minute play and they live in California and they're willing to jump on a plane to come to Houston to see it being performed. And what the unique thing about us is that we produce the plays. You know, I've gone to readings of plays and so forth where you have to scrounge around trying to find your own actors. No, we do everything. We give full production to the actual play. We hire the actors. We get the sets. We do everything.
Costumes, everything. Everything from top to bottom. It is truly a fully produced play. It just happens to only be, 10 minutes, right?
Exactly. And you know what? I've never written a play. You know, people always say it's only a 10-minute play, but yes, but you have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Amen.
And it has to be told in those 10 minutes. And that's not easy to do, okay? So anybody out there think that they want to write a 10-minute play?
Yeah.
And one of the things that you talk about uniqueness, we're not thematic in that we don't tell you what to write. Now, some years we've ended up with plays that dealt with the blackness in terms of, hey, I'm going to get you. And sometimes we end up with 3 or 4 plays that deals with sexuality. And we don't just pick them randomly. What happened? We pick them randomly in terms of what's the best piece. We choose the 10 best pieces to put on stage.
And if they do happen to coincide, sometimes
there you go.
It's just the look of the draw.
Happenstance.
Look of the draw.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So what is something that we should all look forward to for Fade to Black 2025, the national scale play festival that we are gearing up for? What should we look forward to the most?
Well, I could speak to the charge that Denise gave me. I am paired up with Leah Jones to run the film part of it, and it's going to be a full-scale film festival, including screenings and symposiums, lectures, and I want to do something retrospective initially, as far as the history of film is concerned, as the part that we as Black people have taken. That's why I'm looking at scholars like Donald Bogle has written many books about Black Hollywood. I want to look into things that, my friends and I, we always talk about what was termed as blaxploitation films. When you talk to those actors and artists from that time, they'll tell you, I wasn't being exploited. I was working. But the term, the exploitation comes from who was actually taking home the lion's share of the money. And that's been a very hard part of the business for us to reconcile ourselves with, is that oftentimes the producers are the ones. In fact, Sean Connery calls producers gangsters. He said, he talks, there's these gangsters going on with it. And
if we on the subject of Hollywood producers, they are the real mafia. Extorting and everything. Maybe not the full extent of the word extortion, but in a way.
So what we want to do is to not only educate, but we want people to come here to our town to have a bit of fun. We want them to be able to visit our restaurants, our museums, and our theaters. And also we want them to see the talented folk that we have, that were born and reared here or moved here to Houston, who are applying their trade. Okay.
Sorry, shameless plug.
I'm sure.
So can you speak to that? Like I don't think that is a thing that is very known about Houston as far as like the theater scene here. Like, you know, like you said, when you come to Houston, you think of food, you think of landscape, you think of cows and pastures and flat lands and, you know, cowboys, cowgirls.
Fabric-free entertainment.
So, but I don't think people really understand how thriving the theater community is here in this city. Like it is unlike the other ones that I have been immersed into. Like, you know, we all go to New York. We know what New York is. We know what New York brings. But, you know, just the amount of theater that's produced here and the amount of actors.
You should
Can
mention
you speak to
New
that?
York because I think we have the second most theater seats
Per capita. Correct.
Yes, New York is the only one above us. Yeah. Even on a Monday night, you could find good theater going on here.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
Yeah, we have, and every day you look at the landscape, and we have other theaters popping up. You know, of course, the stalwarts here. You know, the alley stages, Main Street, the ensemble. Those theaters have been around for ages, and they will continue to be around. But you know, they're also catastrophic and all these other theaters.
You got Dirt Dogs,
yes,
and On
Dirt
the
Dogs,
Verge, and Mildred's Umbrella,
Fourth Wall, yes.
So many,
Yes.
man. It's like the theater community here is like beyond thriving. Like there isn't a month or a day in a month that you can like look through activities to do and there not be a open running show in Houston. Like, you know.
That is true. And one of the things that I hope to do is to make sure that the artists who are applying their trades, you know, get a little funding for what they're doing because you know, we all have theater degrees, you know, and you know, it always trips me out when somebody approaches me, and you know, I said, "Would you go to your plumber and ask them to work for free?"
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
I mean, you know. Now, if you tell me what your budget is, I'll tell you whether or not I could work with that. But you know, the approach is not to to think that I'm going to be working for free. I think that's disrespectful to the artists. And that's why we at Fade to Black, yes, nobody's going to get rich, but everybody leaves there with something in their pocket to know that they did their job and they got paid for it.
And I can attest to that. Like, as an actor, working actor, starving artist, whatever you want to call it, like, just the smallest act of giving, you know, to an actor means the most. Like, you know, like, we are people who, I guess, like, who are caught up in the labor of love, right? Like, you know, like, I would do this if I was homeless. Like, I really would. But the truth is, I'm not homeless, right? So, you know, there is a certain type of need, and theaters and little small companies that actually honor that system and give like a stipend or an honorarium or whatever it may be. Like, it truly changes the landscape of what it feels like. Like, to give so much and know that you don't get anything in return that can propel your personal life, it's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I mean?
Just like, because I love it doesn't mean I don't want to be paid.
Yeah, exactly. So I can definitely attest to that. And me, myself, personally, I have been a part of Fade to Black since its inception also.
I remember, weren't you like what, 3 of the plays or something?
Man, you know,
we definitely couldn't find actors, you know. That's
it wasn't you couldn't find any. I was just the best guy for the job. I was just the best guy for the job at the time, for the jobs at the time. But I think my first year,
people were saying him again.
like, just flipping through, like, this is the Brandon show, isn't it? Like, we just fading the Brandon, we ain't fading the Black, like, but. No, like, I think that very first year I did about 3 shows. It would have been 4, but as far as scheduling works, because I was already in 3, I just didn't have enough time and Brandons to go around.
And we had a large cast because that little dressing room was at the Obsidian.
Oh man, it was so many of
this big.
It was
people had to stand on the street.
Almost a bathroom size. Like, it was like what? Like
40 people back there. I think it was about 40
people had to stand on the street waiting to come in.
Yeah, and people were
hey,
like,
you go. Let's.
I remember the second day was the day that we kind of like got smart, and they was like, okay, first act people show up at this time, act two people show up later, so we don't have like a glob of people like in the dressing room. So yeah, that was.
But
that was
that's the
definitely a
thing, though, because everybody, all the plays we rehearse independently. The very first time the company comes together is that Wednesday when we're doing the run through. So everybody, wants to, that's why we have this thing, a meet and greet that we do after we cast everybody. We always do a meet and greet. That's the first time that all the actors and directors are together.
Yeah.
And then the next time we meet is when we start loading in and doing the rehearsals. So everybody wants to be together then.
Yeah. That's it's a good time, y'all. I must say, Fade to Black is truly near and dear to my heart personally. Like we were talking about as theater, like as a working artist, like. You don't know where your next meal or next play is gonna come from, but as far as Fade to Black is concerned, that what I used to tell my friends, I was like, hey, if you don't work all year, I can tell you at least one time throughout the year that you may be able to get a job, right?
Yeah, because
like you
we're
said,
looking for
it
like
may not
20,
make you
30
rich.
people in the
Yeah,
cast.
it may not make you rich. It may not, but you will be able to do art, be art, make art, and make it for a massive amount of people. You know
Not
what I
only
mean?
that, you get work based on what you did at Fade to Black, because we one of the plays about Hattie McDaniel. Oh, you were in that, yeah. No, but
I happen to be
what
in
was
that,
it? The young lady that played Hattie.
Destiny Miller.
Yes.
Destiny Miller.
They were casting a play over at Dirt Dogs, and I got a phone call from Trevor. Hey, that young lady who was in, do you know? I said, yeah, I could get her number for you. You need her for something? Oh, yeah, we're doing this play, and she'd be perfect for it. So, and that's what I tell young actors when I talk to them. When you come and you audition for us, and you get a part in our show, we have a lot of people who see you. There are a lot of eyeballs on you. So when you go up on stage, you have to do right. Otherwise, if you, and then people are always calling us to ask about what kind of theater citizen are you? If I cast you, are you going to be somebody that we could put up with?
I like that term, theater citizen.
Yeah,
I
because
like that.
some
I like
people
that.
backstage, they could be tyrants, and dude,
Well, I'm
yeah.
not a tyrant. I think I'm just very loud back there. I know I'm
Yeah,
loud.
well, we've had to come back there and say, Brandon, seriously, man, but
Fade to Black.
I know, but you see, but there's some people that you just can't deal with because they're showing up late or doing something that's not conducive to good art.
Yeah, and like I tell people, like, every show is your chance to be like the star, whether you got like 2 lines or 5 lines. But nobody really wants to deal with like a diva or a divo backstage because nobody's doing anything. Like, we're all just backstage
Did you
being
just
normal.
make up a word?
Divo, you got to learn how to categorize now in 2023. So I'm just making sure that we put people in their right places.
You asked me earlier about what my role was for 2025.
The Devo?
No. Luckily, I have a partner, Leah Jones, and when we meet or talk, we're always pretty much on the same page. And if we aren't, we go back and forth as to why we should be for something. But I think that the part of this exercise that they place me in charge of, we're going to have a very tight film festival. And, I've been to several film festivals, some good, some not so well run, and I have learned from those. We're going to be very, very well put together and very precise because, for one thing, I don't want to get on the bad side of Denise. You know,
She's fine. She's not even here right now.
no, yeah, and I'm sure she's gonna see this eventually. What do you mean get on my bad side? I'm good people. Yeah. But I know what her vision is because we talk about that, and I know that she's has a sincerity about the arts here in Houston. And I want to make sure that since she chose me to be one of the people to move up in the ranks with this from the inception to now, I want to make sure that I do right by her and by our city.
Amen.
Houston, Texas.
Houston, H-Town, y'all.
There you go.
H-Town down. But no, I can definitely attest to that. Like just being able to participate as a actor in Fade to Black. Like Denise has always, entrusted me. Like even with doing more than one show, like I'm not saying that I'm one of the best actors or better than anybody else, but just the faith that one could put in a person to complete.
That's what I'm
shows.
supposed to say. Yes, Brandon, you're one of the better actors here in Houston.
Man, look, y'all. I ain't the best. I just want some more money, y'all. That's it. I'm not the best. I just need some more money, and that's all. That's the only reason why I'm working.
But in all fairness, I really truly am affected by your talent.
Yeah.
And I have a show coming up that I really want you in, so we're gonna make sure that works. Okay,
stay tuned.
We're gonna make sure that works.
Now, but to speak to that, Errol, I'm gonna just take my little informal host hat off real quick and just say, like, I am like so indebted to you, just personally and verbally, like like from the moment I met you. We had talks about certain things and about the way that my career could go, if or the route that I could take as far as like what my talent is.
Should I tell them about that conversation?
Look, I don't mind. I'm an open book, and if you don't know, now you know.
No, seriously. I see this cat running around, fooling around. So I pulled him to the corner one day, and I said, kid, how old are you?
I was like, what, 20, 24, 25 at the time?
I said to him, listen, man, I see a lot of young people, and I see you here, and I see your talent. But, you really got to get your stuff together. Otherwise, you're just going to be another number, And you won an award a few years back, and I said to you, what was it I told you?
I take those words with me every day, man.
There you go.
I know I'm pretty loose in the world, but as far as like just when it comes to like the art and just theater personally, like that's the main focus. Like keep your stuff together. You know what I mean? Like focus on that, and the rest will just fall into place.
And for the record, I didn't use the word stuff.
Nah,
at
it
the
was
time. There were some other words that I used.
Get your beat together. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
And
he's like, man, I say it verbatim. He's like, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan, you have a lot of talent, sir, and I see so much potential in you, but sometimes I worry because all in all, if you just get or keep your beep together, I believe that you can really go places, man. Like you'll go as far as you let yourself go. And at that time, I must say I don't think I had my beat together at the time.
No, you didn't. Hence the reason for that conversation.
I did not have it all together.
That's the reason for that conversation.
But when you first got here, I told you, I'm like, every time I see you, I'm like, I'm about like 72% there now. Like I'm at 72% now. We still got a little ways to go, but we're getting closer.
As artists, we are works in progress.
Yeah, always.
And sometimes that doesn't commensurate itself with us as people because we're flawed folk. Why else would we be in this crazy business?
Yeah.
But we as an older person, I always look at the young folk like you and some other folk that I run into, and I think it's my duty to let you know what I see and what I see could, because I've been around, I've been through the trenches, and as an elder, there's a responsibility to talk to the younger folk. Now, if you heed what we're saying, then it may work out. But I promise you, if you don't listen to what your elders are saying, there's some disastrous things down the line.
I can attest to that. As a as a youngster, you are imparted with advice from like a lot of people who are your senior, and as a youngster, our first initial idea is to just reject the ideas, because it's not like, you don't know what it's like to be me right now, right? But I think the one thing that I've learned the most over the time, just being in theater, like, criticism is heavy in theater, like it is a part of the job. It is everything about it. Like, and if you don't have tough skin and you can't take one on the chin, like, you won't make it. You really won't make it really far in this business. And hearing you say that, like, when people impart those advice to you, it's like, like, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and take it. Like, hey, like, if it's true, it's true. Like,
if you talk to Corey and Tim and these guys, if they didn't have
the legends
skin,
of Houston,
if they didn't have thick skin, I'd be in a ditch somewhere. Okay,
I feel the same way. I mean, I tell my friend, y'all, I talk hard. I just hope y'all love me, because I talk real hard.
But what we want from this exercise of Fade to Black and leading up to, I mean, we still have a bunch of things happening before that, because we have a screening coming up, and we have fundraisers all the time. So we want people to invest in us. We're looking for investing partners, people who believe in what we're doing for the arts here, and to know that this, what we're doing is not just for us, it's for our city and for artists, and most of all, art that's coming from us as Black people.
Amen.
Because we have a lot to offer, and we just want it out there that we will do our best to make sure that Fade to Black is a part of getting the Black artists out there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what we have next. And as I always say to Denise, today Houston, tomorrow the world.
Amen. I'm with that. I agree with that, and I second that motion. So to summarize all of that, my question to you is what is the most needed thing that we are needing as far as theater? And I want you to tie that into.
You mean aside from money?
Yeah, we all need that. I don't even think you got to be in theater to need that.
Aside from money, no. Really, seriously, we the wonderful things that we're talking about right now. Yes, we have the great ideas, but we really need funding to get those things going, because, really, I know people always say money is the root of all evil, but that's wrong. I think lack of money is, I know for a fact that if I were to call Denise right now, she's probably trying to find a grant here or there for us to move forward with some of the things that we have. And yes, I think that's it. We're going to need volunteers, people who could help with so many different things that going on backstage, in front of stage, or whatever, So, we'll need a lot of volunteers, and we'll need people to trust us. We need the trust of the people of Houston, and people will be coming in that what we're doing is necessary, and not only necessary, but it's vital to the arts community here in Houston.
So, Fading It Forward is our new national campaign for preparation for Fade to Black. So, is there anything that you would like to impart to the people out there as far as fading it forward? What is that for you?
Okay, this is to actors. When you come to audition, you got to learn how to slate, man. I mean, I don't know if you don't get that in training or whatever, but need to learn how to do that. Okay, if I ask you to slate, you can't ask me what that is. Okay, you should know. We want to know your name. We want to know what you're reading for, all that. And for heaven's sakes, don't hold a script over your face.
Yeah.
You know, I see some people do. Dude, I don't, learn how to do that, please.
So to be fair, for someone who may not know what a slate is or ever heard, what exactly is that, though?
Okay, I like to put my name last because when that producer, that director have seen so many different people. The one thing that you have that's unique to you is your name. So I'll be reading from so and so, and I'll be reading the part of so and so. My name is Errol Anthony Wilks. That way, the last thing they hear is my name. You know, I do it that way. But
I'm actually borrow that. I do
Yeah.
a lot of slates, and I don't do that, so I'm actually going to borrow that. I thank you for that one.
Yeah, well, but when you're going out for a part where that director see like about 15 people in front of you, and they're like this when you go in there. Okay, let's see what this guy has now.
Yep, I know that
you know,
feeling,
something different. You know, you could say a name before it, but yeah. Want to know your name if you're represented by an agency, you say that. And if we give you a script to read, and I like to do cold readings because basically if I tell you to bring you a 2-minute monologue, of course you're going to be Sir Laurence Olivier with that because you've been doing it since junior high school.
That is agreeable.
Yeah. So yes. So I'm fading it forward by telling you learn how to slate properly because we look at that. And, when you walk out the room, I want to say, okay, that's a professional.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right, thank you. Y'all heard it here first. Fade it forward. Actors, please slate. It's just the introduction. Just say what you're doing, who you are, and that's it. And then just go into being great. Like, just introduce yourselves to the people. That's all. All right. Thank you, Errol.
You bet.
And just in case, my name is Brandon Morgan, and I will be doing a piece from The Fade.
You got like 1 minute to impress these people,
Man, I already didn't get the job. I already didn't get it, y'all. So, last thing before we wrap this good old fade up. My question to you is, fade it forward, our campaign. What faded forward ideas would you like to impart on the theater world of Houston in preparation for Fade to Black 2025?
Well, call us, email us, talk to us directly about what you want your part to be. What I want my part to be is to make sure that there's a transparency in everything that we do. And, art is not cheap, okay? In order for us to do what we're doing, we need people to trust us enough to write a check to us. And that's what my pleading is today, is for you to believe in what we're doing and get involved with this whole thing, because we're not just going to be just 1 year. We want this thing to be going on after they close the book on us, because we're not going to live forever, but we want to make sure that we leave some kind of legacy in this town.
Amen.
We want to make sure that Fade to Black is a part of the fabric of not just the arts, but of the history of Houston.
Amen. Yeah.
And I want to assure folk that if you become a partner with us, we'll make sure that your money and your efforts, because it doesn't have to be money. We could always use your time. Okay, if you are a lawyer and you want to donate your time to us, we'd love to take that as well. So we invite you to come along to fade it forward to 2025. Have some fun with us, okay? Right. It's hard work, but I promise a lot of fun.
Thank you. That was wonderful, Mr. Errol Anthony Wilks, the wonderful vice president of Fade to Black.
No, I'm not the vice president of Fade to Black. I'm the vice president of development for Shabak.
Gotcha.
Because we do have a vice president, but of the board and all that, which is different.
Understood. Well, I thank you, man. This has been absolutely wonderful. You know, I could do this on any other regular day, like without these microphones, just sit and talk to you for a while. But I sure appreciate it. And is there anything else that you would like to impart to the FTB people in the world?
Yes. Go to our Facebook page and see some of the things that we have coming up. So there you have it, folks. Let's fade it forward. Fade to Black 2025.
Thank y'all. This has been another episode of The Fade. Everything Fade to Black 2025. We got it right here. See y'all next week or next time or whenever. We're going to cut that out.